G'day. I want to talk about the 100th Comrades, which is coming in 2027. This is a race that is going to have a lot of interest all around the world. And one of the people who are interested in doing it is me. So, unfortunately for me, though, this race is going to be after my 60th birthday. So, and that's something, if you want to comment on that in the comments, feel free. Do you think that's amazing, or do you think it's downright stupid? Should I be sitting on a chair, sipping a gin and tonic, watching the young ones go down the street? Or is it good that I'm out there still having a crack? I want to be in my 60s. So it is the challenge. Anyway, I figured if you don't try, you fail. So if you have a go, well, you never know. Maybe you can make it to the end. So things I need to do for this. Well, with a lot of popularity in this race, it is going to be very difficult to get into. So I've joined the Comrade Marathon Association. Now, you can join that if you've been a previous volunteer or previous finisher. Previous finisher, as you would have seen from my videos, I've finished 3 times now, so I'm eligible to be a member, and I have joined. The costs at the moment is quite low. Well, low to me, I should say. It was 100 Rand, I think, which the way things are going here in Melbourne probably barely gets you a cup of coffee. Certainly joining the race wasn't a problem, put it that way. So I've done that, or joined the CMA, I should say. So I've done that. I've joined the CMA. That's great. Now, reason for doing that is last year, CMA members got preferential entry into the race. And they're talking about it might happen again. So it's an important thing to do if you're eligible, I think. And plus, then you're part of the race organisation. It's particularly important for South Africans, I think. Get involved in your race. As a foreigner, we have to consider the position there. Do we want to have a lot of say in a race where we're not even in the same country? But that's for the individual to think about. And then the next thing, qualify. Now, I'm fortunate to be able to say I've actually already qualified. I've qualified at the Gold Coast Marathon, where I ran a sub-5 marathon, which is what you need to do to qualify in the marathon. You can qualify at other distances as well, but that's probably the one people are most interested in qualifying at. I didn't have the best time at the Gold Coast. I'd just come back from the USA. I had a whole lot of travel, and I was going along fine until I wasn't. But anyway, I stayed under 5 hours, got a qualifier, and that's right for that. So I've got that. Now, typically, I plan to start training in the calendar year of the race. Obviously, well, it's 2026 now, so when 2027 comes along, I'll start the running for the training then to get right for the race. So what am I going to do now in calendar year 2026 that will help? Right. Well, there's 2 things in particular that I'm going to be working on. One of them, talk about strength work. So for me, there's 2 parts of strength work. One is injury prevention. 2025, I had 3 injuries within the calendar year. Can you believe that? It wasn't very enjoyable, I can tell you. So from that, I started a program to improve the strength in the bits that kept breaking, which were my calves. So I do a seated weighted calf raise before work. What am I at the moment? 26 kilos on that. I do 3 lots of 10 on that. I'd actually had been doing more, but I stopped for a while, long story, and now I've had to step back in weight so that I build up again. So I'm doing that. I'm doing the same amount on each leg. I'm also doing a 10 kilo standing weighted calf raise and descent, 4-second descent as well, and that's on one leg, and that's for the other muscle, the gastric. So trying to build up both my calves so that I stop getting injured so I can keep running. So I've got to do that in the background. Now, I've also started the Coach Parry strength training routine. I've just restarted. I've done this in the past, but I've just been so busy I haven't had a spare night a week to do this. But I've reshuffled things and I have now. So last 2 weeks I've done that, and it was a bit of a shock to the system at first, I can tell you. So one thing we were doing where we were stretching across here, so my back was very sore, my traps and whatnot from that, and single leg squats. I had been doing some weighted squats earlier in the year actually, but single leg squats anyway onto a chair and standing up again. And my glutes were really sore after that. So our old friend Dom's, I got to experience him again. So I've started doing that and I'm going to keep doing that. So the idea is now, the reason why I've started now is to build strength long term. I think that's very important. So, and as I get closer to the race and get back into it, I'll look to add, assuming my schedule allows, I'll look to add another night a week. So then I'm doing 2 sessions a week, which I think will be important for me, to be honest. Now, the other thing, and I guess this can be a topic people worry about because it can affect some people badly, but for me, weight loss. You can see I'm not the skinniest looking dude. Look at some of my videos more recently. You can see I've also lost some weight. I've actually lost probably about 5 kilos over about 8 or 9 months, I reckon, possibly a bit longer, and it's been great. You know, I feel much better and I'm running it better as well. So, and it is easier. I've found it's easier to do that when you're not in serious training, because when you're in serious training, I seem to be always hungry. So I'm going to keep doing that now and try and lose some weight this year. And some background on that, why? Well, my BMI at the moment is over 25. So I'm not exactly skin and bones. My body fat is around 19%. Now, none of these are catastrophic and have me at the doctor's, but if you want to run well, it's easier if they're a bit lower. The other thing to think about is my previous comrades, I'll put it this way, the winners are in no danger from me. So the 12-hour cutoff is in more danger, and I don't want to get too close to that again. I've got 2 Vic Clappins and a bronze by the skin of my teeth. So they say a conservative measure is you can lose 3 seconds, a kilo, a kilometre for the weight you lose. This is assuming you're not losing muscle, right? Over Comrades, if I were to lose 5 kilos and get down, I'd still be above the mid-level in for BMI in my height, right? So I'm not even below halfway in the healthy weight range. But if I got down to that, it would save, on that formula, 22 minutes at Comrades. Now, who doesn't want a 22-minute bonus at Comrades? Could come in handy, that's for sure, on that incredibly demanding race. So there's that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm 2 weeks into the strength. The weight loss, look, I'm talking about it now. I mean, who knows, maybe I'll end up putting on weight, but that's not the plan. Plan is to lose some. What am I doing to do that? I'm trying to eat a bit more protein, a bit less carbohydrates. And that's what I did in the past, and avoid sugar. And I guess I've cut back. I haven't given up on alcohol, but I have cut it back a bit. And losing half a kilo a month on average, you can see that it's achieved something. So here goes. I'm going to keep going, take you through this training journey as we go, and prepare for Comrades, try and get into the race. If I don't get into the race, well, I'll worry about that then. If you like my channel, of course, as we all say, please like and subscribe, and then you'll get notified every time. I do the bell thing too. You get notified every time I put a new video out.